This is the Tom Bernard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Bernard app at tombernardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Exactly. That's all you need to know. No question about it. You know, something interesting just popped up. I just went to all the national stories and all the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
I literally, I weighed in this morning, 241.2. I've lost 24.8 pounds or whatever in 5 weeks on this Livia program.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And I wrote about the fact that when I go for a walk every morning and then again every afternoon, I get 7.5 to 8 miles in every day. I feel phenomenal. I feel better every day. What's interesting, though, I was just thinking about this. I look at the national headlines, and one of the headlines is, to feel refreshed, people need to spend 67 minutes outside each day. So I suppose that all does kind of work in, because if I go for my 4-mile walk, that's about an hour and 15, so it's 75 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Just the morning walk alone makes me feel phenomenal. That does make a lot of sense. I should probably click on the story since I talked about the story. Might find out what the hell they're talking about. But I'm telling you, I just by coincidence reported the fact that when I walk, I feel phenomenal afterward. Like I just got back from my walk.
How many walks a day do you go on? Because I know
3.
you do 3. Okay, so you do 1 4-mile, and then do you do two miles, or how do you break those up?
I do a 4-mile, then I do a 2-mile, and then so that's 6, and then I do another. Well, you're just walking around, you're going to pick up another half mile anyway, just walking around during the day.
For sure.
And then we take Jude for a walk for a mile, mile and a half. So therefore, it's 7.5 to 8 miles every day.
Okay.
But I love doing it. That's a great thing. It's not like, oh, God, I got to go to the gym, or, oh, God, I got to do this. It's just like, oh, man, I get to go outside. It's wonderful.
Yeah, the sun getting that vitamin D really, I think, helps boost the mood as well first thing in the morning.
I think you're absolutely right about that. So, yeah, if your idea of spending quality time outside is walking 100 feet up to Starbucks, well, wise ass. I get it. Rather than go through a drive-through, there's a reason you don't feel revived every day. According to a new poll, the average American needs to spend 67 minutes outside each day in order to feel refreshed. Now, that's kind of a bitch to do in Minnesota, and I would not want to do it here in the summertime because it's hotter than hell here in the summertime. So I don't know about outside. Can you still get outside when it's 30 below or 90 above with 80% humidity?
Well, that was going to be my question, because I think I can put aside the super hot, the humidity. I go sit outside. Maybe I do more sitting outside than actually like active movement. But when it's like December 30th, and I just like, do you want me to go get 67 minutes of outside time where it's negative 20 degree wind chill? It's like, no, I'm gonna freeze my ass off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I guess you got to bounce back and forth. I don't know. But you try to get it done every day. But there are a lot of very hot days. Well, down here again, once you get to June 1st, all the way through, I would say mid-September, it's way the hell too hot here to walk. If I had to walk 8 miles every day outside here, I'd probably weigh about 85 pounds when I got home. I mean, it's hotter than a son of a. It's not just the humidity; it's the rays of the sun, because you're very much closer to the equator, and it is hotter than hell. Have you ever been in Florida in the summertime?
No,
but I've been in Louisiana and stuff down south. Yeah, it's one of those. Really, it's like you have to wait until the evening, or early morning if you're going to go outside.
Jeez.
And the great thing about it is, if you go, right at dusk, so you could probably get robbed on the way back home. So that'd be good.
Yeah, then that's great for everybody.
It works out for everybody. Everybody gets some cash that way. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, they bring that up, as a matter of fact. It's easy enough right now when it's getting warmer out, but it's not too hot. It's a real struggle to get those 67 minutes in when it's January in the Midwest or July in Arizona. Yeah, just exactly what we're talking about. How do they define feeling refreshed? About 2 in 3 people say say that being outside just relaxes them. And I would agree with that. Being outside does relax me. There's no question. Mm-hmm. Puts me in a better mood and helps me clear my head. No question. I think about a lot of stuff while I'm out for my walk. Being cooped up inside too much can deepen feelings of depression, anxiousness, or loneliness. Jesus. So you better get off your ass and go walk around outside. How are we doing there? What's the temperature today?
It's going to get up to, it was pretty good over the weekend. I know it got up to like the 80s. Right now it's 54, and it's going to get as high here as like 72 later on in the day. So
that's wonderful.
It's going to be a little hot, but it'll be nice. We're kind of getting
hot at 72. Hot, really? Jesus. Here we go. No, but honest to God, 54. Now, 55 is about the breaking point for me right there. It's like, it's still nice at 55 degrees. A little chill in the air, but it's, it works out in the end. But yeah, I'm telling you, I'm what a coincidence. I was literally just thinking about how lucky I am to get out and be able to walk, because I couldn't do it when the show started at 5:30 in the morning. What am I going to do? Go walking at 4 o'clock in the morning? You want to get robbed?
That's asking for some neighbor to be like, you know what? That guy looks suspicious. Let's get the cops out here. Check it out.
Oh, think about this, especially now, bars close now in Minnesota at 2 in the morning, don't they? Not 1 anymore. It's 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go for a walk at 4 o'clock when everybody's coming home from the bar. What a great idea. No, because it takes them 2 hours to get home anyway. It doesn't matter how far away they live.
Just tripping over guys passed out on the sidewalk.
Right.
There's a lot of that going on too, man. Have you seen some of these videos from around the country? People just literally sleeping on the edge of cliffs. It's like, what? You roll over once, you're dead. What are you doing?
I've never understood that in like cowboy movies where they like sleep right next to this giant cliff in front of the Grand Canyon. It's like,
yeah.
I would roll over. Like I need a football field before any like drop off, because I need to feel safe. I can't sleep on a cliff. I don't care about the view.
No, I don't care about. No, I'm sleeping. What the hell do I care about the view when I'm asleep? Yeah. I can come up with my own view in my sleep, right?
Yeah.
It just makes no sense. We'll take a break here. Be right back. I have not taken a gander. I was talking to Josh Arnold last night. There's a movie out I got to tell you guys about later. Phenomenal movie starring Anthony Hopkins.
Okay.
But I was talking to Josh Arnold about this last night, and he was pretty happy about the way things were going, except for the Timberwolves. But they were still in the middle of the game, so I don't know how it turned out. So I don't know. We're going to find out from you guys and Phil right after this, okay?
All right.
Yep.
Hi, it's Tom Bernard for Livea Weight Control Centers. Now is the time to get a jump on some of the Livea Way. And by the way, I don't make up any of this stuff. I tell you how I feel. If it didn't make me feel great, I would tell you. I do. I feel magnificent. Join Livea today. Get your first 8 weeks free in those first 8 weeks by following Livea's nutrition plan with the help of their expert team. I said expert team of registered dietitians and nutritionists. You can lose, I love this. It says you can lose up to 20 pounds or more. I've already lost 24.5 pounds. So there you go, in 5 weeks, as a matter of fact. Imagine how much better you'll feel, because I do. Not to mention how much better your summer clothes will fit. My summer clothes, I have to throw them all away because they're all too big for me now. Join today. You'll also receive a complimentary in-body scan. Again, here's the deal. I weigh 241.2. My goal is 214, so, just a little over 25 pounds, not very much. I love it. I do not get hungry. That's the part I wanted to lean on this morning. I never feel hungry. And I'm not just making that up like, it's times of the day or what. No, I never feel hungry, so it all works out. Now, part of that is the GLP-1 medication, from what I understand. We'll get to that in a second. Join today. Get your first 8 weeks of Livea's nutrition plan free. Visit Livea.com. That's Livea.com, or call 855-GO-LIVEA. And Livea's Medical Weight Loss is now offering GLP-1 medication starting at just $2.99 a month. You do not get hungry. I'm just telling you. Quiet the food noise and see accelerated results by summer. Visit Livea.com or call 855-GO-LIVEA. Get a jump on summer the Livea way.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, They're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code TOM. And you get free shipping on your entire order. Get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses, mattress toppers, 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything's on sale from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as bath towels. In other words, they actually absorb, which is very important to me, actually. They have dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM and you get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to MyPillow.com and please do use promo code TOM.
This is the Tom Bernard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings 8 to 9:30 or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Bernard app at TomBernardShow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, time once again for the 100% baseball, no basketball report with Phil Mackey.
Wow, you're bailing. Tom put his toes in the Timberwolves water for 10 seconds on Friday, and now he's absolutely done with them.
I did watch the Twins game yesterday. My Twins. Notice when they win, they're my Twins.
Yeah.
You do know.
Well, they've won like a bunch of series, and I think they've won the most series in a row since like 2010 or something.
It's been forever. It's been a long time. I know that, but no, I am not happy with the way that things have turned out. 2-2 now, right? With the standings right now in the game, they win 2 on the road, they lose 2 at home. Is that the ticket?
Yeah, nobody has won a home game so far in this series. Which is good. And the Wolves, so there's 3 games left potentially, and the Wolves have 2 road games and 1 home game. So if everyone holds court holds serve on the road, the Wolves should win this series in 7 games. It'll be great. What is funny though is, and we can definitely talk Twins here. If you just let me indulge myself with 30 seconds of Timberwolves for a second. So what's funny though is, it's been a long time, 20 years, since Timberwolves fans have been immersed in the 2-month grind of the NBA playoffs. Mm-hmm. And it's like people don't know how to act. They don't know what to do with their hands. They don't know how to process this. And at the end of the day, it's like when they're up 2-0, oh my God, they're going to sweep their way through the playoffs. They're going to win the championship. You know, we're crowning them halfway through the second round of the 4-round playoffs. And then when the best team in the world, the defending champions, throws a championship counterpunch back at you, which you should have expected, and evens the series at 2, it's like, trade everybody. I'm looking at my Twitter feed this morning, and people are like, you got to trade Karl Anthony Towns, which, I mean, I don't know, maybe, but let's see what happens in Game 5. Right. This has been a great heavyweight fight between 2 of the best teams in the NBA. The defending champions have said, we are not booking tee times. We are here. Come back at us, and we'll see what happens. We'll see. It's fun, man. Let's enjoy the ride, Minnesota sports fans. You don't get these runs very often.
What I think might have happened, I want to run this by the 3 of you and all of our listeners, of course. What's the number to call in if they want to comment again? 952 something?
Yeah, 952-600-2575.
625-70. You think I could remember that number? You know what I mean?
It's not a normal number.
Do you think it's like, when you were a kid playing sports and all the rest of it, let's say the Timberwolves go into Denver and Denver goes, oh, God, we smoked them last year. This is not going to be any big deal. I mean, they're not giving it their all, not maybe intentionally, but they're just kind of not giving it their all, so they get their ass kicked a couple of times. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden your Timberwolves get a little cocky. They get home, and now Denver realizes we got to win some games here, folks, no matter what happens. And this is exactly what happens. You win 2 on the road, you lose 2 at home.
Yes.
Now we have to adjust and go, hey, we got to take this team seriously. We got to take 2 out of 3.
A couple things off that. So Chris Finch, the Wolves coach, I was at Target Center for both these games doing the media thing, pregame press conferences and whatever. And Chris Finch, he hobbles up with his torn knee. He's literally hands the crutches off to the PR guy and hobbles his way up to the podium table. And the first question before the game last night was, hey, Finchy, you referenced some distractions maybe being part of the reason why you lost Game 3. Like they had 4 days off between Games 2 and Game 3.
Yep.
And it was all at home here in the Twin Cities. And so the reporter asked, what distractions are you referring to? And without missing a beat, Chris Finch goes, "You ever hang around your family for 4 straight days?"
I love it.
We got 2 guys with newborn babies. We got families. He's like, well, they're just sitting around for 4 days, hanging out with their family. He goes, sometimes it's better to be on the road when it's a bunker mentality and everything is scheduled. You're away from any sort of family and friend distractions. Now, maybe those distractions carried over into Game 4 again, but back on the road in Denver, maybe they can band together away from their families.
Well, they do have the talent to do it. There's no question about that. Mm-hmm. It's just it's going to be who plays harder, who has better focus, and who wants it more. That's what it's all about now.
And only one guy showed up for the Wolves last night. And it's a good sign because it was Anthony Edwards, the 22-year-old superstar. I mean, he just put everyone on his back. And I've been really hard on Karl Anthony Towns for a few years now, and he's been playing really well in the playoffs, but a classic Karl Anthony Towns dud yesterday. He misses 13 of his 18 shots. He's flailing, complaining to officials, and saying, take a deep breath, Karl. It's basketball, okay? We don't need to be flailing and freaking out. But I don't know. I'm having fun. This is fun. I think a lot of people are just crippled by anxiety right now because But this is what's going to happen. You're facing again by the way, the Nuggets, a brilliant strategy. So they fall down 2-0. They've got 4 days off. And the coaching staff put together a highlight reel of all of the national media members trashing them, calling their season over, crowning the Timberwolves. And Mike Malone, the Nuggets coach, went to one of the veterans on the team and said, should I show this to the team or do you think it's too much? And they agreed. Let's. I think the veteran player emailed it to the team so they could watch the video. But they literally went through like a 5 or 10 minute reel of national media members clowning them after falling down 2-0. And you see the response.
That's exactly. What was the final score last night, by the way?
115 to 107.
So it wasn't that bad because they were getting trashed for a while there, weren't they?
So they got beat by 8, and this is how basketball works sometimes. At the end of the first half, the Wolves were down by 7 with a chance to cut it to 5, maybe even 4. Mm-hmm. Instead, the Nuggets score 8 points in the final 21 seconds. The Wolves they bumbled around, turned the ball over. Jamal Murray puts up a half-court shot at the buzzer to put them up by. So instead of being down by like maybe 5, 6, or 7 at halftime, they're down by 15 points going into the half.
God.
All the momentum on the side of the Nuggets, and that's sometimes all it takes.
And the one thing you have to say is they wanted it more, right?
Denver has definitely come out looking like they've wanted it more or like they've had more of an appetite to go deep in these playoffs the last 2 games, but the first 2 games, it was the opposite. The Timberwolves absolutely mauled Denver. I think it's going 7. Actually, you know what? Yeah. I would say this. Either the Wolves win in 6, because I could see the Wolves coming back after the embarrassing losses at home, winning in Denver, and then having the momentum of the crowd back at Target Center in Game 6. So I would say either Wolves win in 6 or Wolves lose in 7 would be my prediction at this point. I don't think Wolves just lose 4 games to end the series.
That's a good call, I think. And they can do it. I mean, obviously they can do it. That's the human response, though. Honest to God. It's like I'm kicking everyone's ass. I'm going to back off a little. No, you're kicking ass. Yeah. Keep moving forward. Let's go.
I mean, Anthony Edwards was on Good Morning America after Game 2, before Game 3, which is great. Like, the world is discovering this amazing superstar, but maybe we should pump the brakes on the Good Morning America appearances in the second round of the playoffs, okay? Let's just calm down a little bit on that.
No question about it. There's one of the great things we had, all these great Unity House and all those places in North Minneapolis where young kids could go to be safe in a pretty rough neighborhood and all that stuff. And they did boxing classes. And I screwed around a couple of times and spent a lot of time there, but a couple of times when screwed around. And what they taught basically was if you're winning the fight, you back off, you're going to lose. Mm-hmm. Just because you're winning, do not back down. Get harder, hit harder, go at them harder. Because if you back off, you're going to end up getting your ass kicked. So I learned that as like a 6-year-old, 7-year-old.
But sometimes, and maybe this happened to you, you have to learn that the hard way first to have it sink in.
Yes, you do.
Right?
Getting punched dead on in the face is really a thrill. There's no question about it. You ever been punched in the face?
Well, actually, once in Phi Ed class in 8th grade, I got into a little skirmish.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you have to whip his ass?
So it was the only real fight that I was ever in, and he punched me. It was really dumb. So we were doing it was like the basketball portion of Phi Ed class, and we were throwing passes to each other like down the gym, whatever. It was like a drill. And he was a year older, and he was kind of a bully, and he took my ball and threw it to the other end of the court. So I went and got it, came back, he intercepted it again and did it a second time. And I told him, if you do it again, we're going to have a problem, buddy. And he did it again, and then he squared up. He was like, okay, I'll initiate this. He squares up, and he punches me in the forehead. I wasn't actually thinking we were going to fight. He punches me in the forehead. So I put him in a headlock, a Nolan Ryan, Robin Ventura headlock from the early 90s, and I started punching him in the temple, and the substitute teacher broke it up. And then we became friends after that. It was great.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose that's going to happen, but the guy punched you in the forehead. What did he?
Just
what was
pop,
he
right? Like literally right, like the top of the forehead. And he didn't knock me out, clearly, because I came back.
Do you know how
I won the series, Tom? I won the series in 6 games. That's what happened.
Do you know how hard it would be to knock somebody out by hitting him in the forehead?
Right. What an idiot, right?
Exactly. It ain't going to happen.
Hit me in the jaw next time, buddy.
Yeah, next time's the jaw. Now, that is interesting. Honest to God. But I did, the first time I ever got punched in the face, I remember, and I think it was a Warner Brothers cartoon sound effect, but you get punched in the face and you hear this in your head. It's like, whoa, that's real. I didn't know that was real.
The birds and the stars.
Exactly. Little bluebirds tweeting around your head. It all came true. Hey, phenomenal growing up in America, isn't it?
It really is. Getting punched in the face and having to respond. So, by the way, your Twins, man, the Twins at one point, like 3 weeks into the season, I know you were already off the I'm shocked that you stayed on the bandwagon long enough here because you wanted to trade everyone like 3 weeks ago, Tom. But
I still wouldn't mind trading most of them.
But they're a half game out of first place. They got the Yankees coming up here this week. Let's go.
I tell you, one thing I'm really happy with, Kepler is having a hell of a year at the plate, isn't he?
You know what we call that in the business?
What?
A contract season.
Yes, exactly.
He's a free agent at the end of the year, and he knows this is the path forward to making $50+ million.
It's one thing that's great about radio and podcasting. Every year is contract year.
Every month, every quarter.
Every month, exactly. Every month is
the
contract
weeklies.
Month. Matter of fact, by the end of the show, it'll be another contract day tomorrow. Yep. So it all works out. Honest to God, the Twins are going along well. I got to be honest with you, and I'm an outside observer, no question. And part of it is my friends and my family are fans of the Timberwolves, so that does weigh somewhat on me. But I think if they can get it together and just keep it together, the Timberwolves will win this series. Yeah. I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd love to hear you guys, AJ, and AJ's a huge basketball guy, I know. But Tevin, I think there's a doom and gloom right now that just feels a little over the top to me. They might lose the series at the end of the day, but I don't think losing that game yesterday means that they're all of a sudden just crumbling and it's over in 6 now.
No. The defense didn't look great yesterday, which is alarming, but game 3, I mean, the Timberwolves didn't even show up. It was like we were still back in Denver. We thought that the Nuggets, just because, we showed up to the game, that they were just going to let us take it from them. So we at least fought a little bit. Anthony Edwards showed some hype, but Cat needs to get it together and contribute something.
Yeah, he needs to calm down. Just take a deep breath, Cat.
Yeah, it works for me. No question about that. I'm looking forward to it. That's all I have to say. It's nice. People are happy. The team's still in it. I mean, that's the number one thing. They cannot lose that 3rd game, though, I don't think. There's no way they can lose the next game. Or the 5th game, excuse me.
Yeah, it'd be game 5 tomorrow, and then game 6. We're guaranteed a game 6 back at Target Center on Thursday night. The celebrities are out in full force, too. The local celebrities. We had Vikings coach Kevin O'Connell was in the house yesterday. Who else do we have? Royce Lewis was up in a suite, shown on camera. Twins superstar. Maybe Tom Bernard courtside for the Western Conference Finals.
There you go. Now we're talking. That'd be.
That
could be the Jack Nicholson. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Remember when Jack at the old Lakers games?
Yes.
Jesus, he'd get whipped up.
Yeah, the other guy, Jimmy Goldstein is another. I think he's a fashion designer. Is that how he got rich? But he goes to all the big playoff games. When he shows up to a playoff game, you know, oh, this is a big one. Jimmy Goldstein's here. They had Craig Kilborn in the house for all these games. So
I never even heard of any of these people you're talking about. There are a lot of celebrities. Like who?
Well, Craig Kilborn, you've heard.
I
of.
Remember him.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he used to come on the KQ Morning Show, and he was a nice enough guy. He was okay.
Yeah. He's become a friend of mine the last few years, and he's. What's amazing is like he just kind of left at the peak of his career, he's just been enjoying life, and he's traveling around Southern California and drinking martinis, and then coming here for Wolves games. What a life!
Nothing wrong with that, Craig Kilborn. Yeah, it's been years since I talked to him, but yeah, I remember he was a really, really nice guy.
Well, if you show up to Target Center for Game 6 on Thursday, we could introduce you. You guys could sit together, and
it's going to be tough. Let me just say that. Although I am coming home a week from Thursday, so you'll have me all summer long going, let's go. It's going to be unbelievable. What do you think?
I'm here for it.
Get off your ass. Let's get it done. All right, Palomino, we'll talk to you on Friday.
All right, see you guys.
Thanks a lot, Phil Mackey, ladies and gentlemen. Score North. Take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. Chris Eggert will join. Chris going to be with us this morning, isn't he?
Yes, he will. And I think he's even in studio.
Oh, my God, in studio. Finally got off his ass and came in. Good. Glad to hear it.
Right.
It's about time. K&L Surplus and Ammo in Lina Lakes is my choice for firearms, ammunition. Jim, the owner, is one of the most knowledgeable people in the business. Just sitting down with Jim the very first time, right across his desk, just talking back and forth, having a good time. He is very knowledgeable, one of the most knowledgeable people in the business. Great getting you the right firearm for your needs. And by the way, that's very important. Not just any firearm. You got to get the one that's right for your needs, that fits your hand, the whole deal, man. And Jim's really good at that. K&L Surplus and Ammo also works with local groups on raffles and auction fundraisers. If your group has a fundraiser coming up, make sure to call Jim at K&L. Number is 763-757-2614. He can put together a great package for your event and help you raise more money. K&L Surplus and Ammo is on Lake Drive in Lina Lakes and open Tuesday through Saturday. You can reach him by phone at 763-757-2614, or you can also visit them online at www.klgunstore.com.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Let's take just maybe a couple of seconds. It says take a second, but let's take a couple of seconds. Talk about my bank, North American Banking Company. Look, there's no shortage of banking options in the Twin Cities. You know that. If you're tired of being just a number to your big national bank, be sure to talk to my friends at North American Banking Company. And I do not call people my friends if they're not. I've told you that before. They offer the same online and mobile banking options as other banks, but with unparalleled service of a community bank. I also like being able to go to any of their 6 Twin Cities locations: Roseville, 50th and France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, and Maple Grove. So, if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is the Tom Bernard Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5's Chris Eggert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. Mr. Eggert, how are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Marvelous. Got a Twins win, got a Timberwolves loss. I'm not wild about that. I mean, I'm wild about the win, not so much about the loss, but, we talked about they got to win the next game. That's all there is to it. You cannot lose 3 in a row.
Yeah, it's such a feeling. What this guy I follow on Twitter, Dan Minnesota. He's an author. He's got great. Kind of has been cataloging Minnesota sports and all the frustrations and losses and like certain dates in history that have like marked crappy things that have happened. So he's got a lot to write about, is what I'm saying. But
Yes.
I just saw that he tweeted. He's like, what's that feeling I have right now over the last couple of games? Dread. Yeah, dread. Dread is the feeling I have.
It is. Yep, dread.
Yeah.
But you know what? So did the Denver fans for a couple of games there. So we're even on the feeling dread. So let's win 5.
Right. So, and what did you want? Did you want them to sweep and win 4 and move on, or did you want them to have an epic battle that goes all the way to Game 7 and has us all at the edge of our seats?
I got to be honest, 4 in a row would be great.
Yeah, I know.
That's
because we don't trust the process enough around here, right? Like
exactly.
The process is normally not very good to us. So yeah,
I can't lie, right?
I'm with you.
You can't lie about it. But look, they got to win, and the next game. That's all there is to it. They have to win that game, otherwise they got no shot. But yeah, it should be interesting.
Hopefully, everyone else will come to play ball. They play tomorrow, right? Anthony Edwards can't do it all himself, right?
Nope.
No
question about it. So just looking over some. Is there any good news, by the way? Yeah, he's get this look on his face like, well,
Well, okay, I'll say this. There was a air alert warning that was put into place last night. That does appear to be clearing out a little earlier than they thought it was going to. So at least in most of Minnesota, it's not going to be quite as smoky and gross outside. This morning it was really bad first thing in the morning. And how did I describe it? I don't eat a lot of mulch, but if I did, or like a paper towel, when you're breathing in the air, the taste in your mouth is like if you were eating mulch or had a paper towel stuffed in your mouth or some. It's just a gross smell. I don't know, stagnancy to the air, but.
Hey, Catherine, would you make me a bacon and mulch sandwich, please? You get a minute?
Or sawdust.
Sawdust. Let's get some sawdust.
That's kind of what it.
That's like somebody says that, God, this tastes like crap. It's like, why do you know what that tastes like, Chris?
Right. You know what crap tastes like?
And because that was from the wildfires in British Columbia, correct? Yeah. The smoke coming down. Yeah.
Yep.
That'll do it. No question.
So that has cleared out earlier than was expected. So I guess that's good. Because right now the seasonal allergies, the tree pollen is absolutely ridiculous. So for anybody who's got to deal with that and then to sort of throw in all this smog crap, it's not something that we're used to in Minnesota, although last year it was like one of the smoggiest years that we've had in quite some time. So
thought it was London. Is that it?
Yeah, it was seeming like it, but they've got there's a lot of acres of trees up there in Canada, and it's a lot to control, that's for sure.
Well, the thing about that is, though, you look at the United States, some areas of the United States have had really bad weather, like up around the Georgia area and all that, just been getting hammered with thunderstorms. And by the way, growing season is not just in Minnesota, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And if you're not used to the growth and the pollen that kicks out, man, I go outside, I just start sneezing right away because I'm just not used to it, You have to adjust to that whole deal. But yeah, I'm glad that smoke cleared out. That's great news, no question about it, because you're in a situation where you're right on top of having a great summer. We're on the precipice right there, baby.
We are on the precipice. That's a very underused word too, by the way.
It's because most people don't know what it is or how to pronounce it. That's probably why it's an underused word.
Precipice?
Propacapit?
Pertussis?
Yeah, pertussis. That's exactly what it is. No question about it. But no,
let's see. What else is happening? Cirque du Soleil is going to have an actual big top tent set up outside Mall of America for almost the next month for a show that they're putting on there. When's the last time you saw a circus first of all, when's the last time you saw a circus? Second of all, when's the last time you saw a circus inside a tent?
I will tell you this, and this is very true. You can tell how long ago this was.
Yeah.
Because the last time I went to the circus, they actually had elephants there.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore.
No,
Never,
they don't.
apparently.
No.
So that was a long time ago. But we used to, Catherine loves Cirque du Soleil, so we used to go. By the way, going to Cirque du Soleil in Las Vegas is phenomenal. If you've never done it, you got to do it.
Yeah, it's a good show, and it gets you away from the tables for a little bit too, and maybe saves you some money.
You know what's great is I'm not a gambler.
That's good.
We played cards when I was a kid, but I've never been. Matter of fact, the very first time I went to Vegas with the KQ Morning Show, took the Vegas Morning Show trip and all that. I'm sitting at a table and I'm playing blackjack. And there's this beautiful Asian woman dealing, right? Just very attractive, just a sweetheart of a person, right? And she goes, "What's your name?" I said, "Tom." She goes, "Tom. That's a great name. Tom, you suck at this, so I'm going to play your hand from now on."
Wow.
Okay. Well, thank you. That's very nice of you. She was just such a sweetheart. You're just getting your ass handed to you because you have no idea what you're doing. And she was right. I had no idea.
That's
I've
a
never
smart
been a
move because she knows she's gonna take over for you.
Yep.
And she knows you're gonna tip her well because she was
Yep.
nice to you. So that's a solid move.
She was great though. It was fun watching her play my hand. Was a lot of fun. And I'd go. She'd go, "I'll take a hit," and she'd look at me like, "Don't argue with me. I'm taking a hit. That's just how it is."
I like when they're like that.
Yeah, I do too.
It can be very intimidating. I like gambling when I'm in Vegas in Fremont instead of on the Strip because the money's not so high and people there are it's just a little bit. It's a different environment. It's much more friendly to people who aren't great gamblers, but.
You guys remember Mike Molina? Mike Molina is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Lives in New York City now. Mike he sends me a Father's Day card every year. Just the nicest kid in the world for a guy who's like 6'3" and weighs about 280, and I wouldn't want punching me. He's a very large Italian boy, but we're in Vegas. I said, "Would you do me a favor and go find some Mexican Coca-Cola?" Because Mexican Coca-Cola's got pure sugar in it. It's really, really good sugar.
Thank you for clarifying it's Coca-Cola and not Mexican Coke.
There'll be a reason for that. Because he came back and he was like, his head shaking, his body shaking. I said, "What's the matter?" I said, "Did you find the Mexican Coca-Cola?" He goes, No, I didn't. I said, "What happened?" He goes, "I walked into the store and I was looking for it and they didn't have it. And I walked up and I said, 'Do you have any Mexican Coke?' And he took me back behind the door. There was a huge pile of cocaine on the desk.
Oh, my.
He thought he was going to prison forever. That's Vegas for you, though, isn't it? That is Las Vegas.
Tom, I got your Coke, as he says from the other side of the
from the
jail intercom. Right.
Yeah, but he Mexican Coke. Yes, a huge pile of it right in the. Oh,
I love Vegas.
I miss Molina. Mike Molina is a great guy, no question about it. All right, what else is in the news? Anything important? That's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. No, everything else is kind of a downer. So, nationally, watch for the Michael Cohen testimony today in the Trump trial. Right.
Like, when is this all going to stop? My
guy,
God.
Like, I don't think anybody on either side of it's going to believe a word that comes out of his mouth.
Oh, hell no. And I'll tell you another thing. When this one's over, I guarantee you there's going to be a Joe Biden one. I guarantee it. This is never going to end now. Why we ever let this start, I will never understand, because now it's, and I told years ago, and you can go back and listen on KQ, I said, I understand why you'd be going after Bill Clinton because he acts like an animal around women and all the rest of it. I wouldn't do it if I were you, because if you start this, it's never going to end. And they started it, and now it's never going to end. We're going to be suing each other and having each other in court and going to jail, and it's never going to stop now, you dumb bastards. Yeah. Why? Because it was all about money. That's why. How much money they could make by being big heroes. Oh, God, what stupid bastards. I hate them all. Let me just tell you that. All right, that's a good bright note to end the report.
Hey,
on.
next time you talk to Lindell, tell him I need a new pillow. My pillow has been. I sleep with one of the My Pillows, and something happened to it. It like lost its elasticity the last couple of nights, and I was thinking about it because that ad runs during the break prior to us. I need to go order one. I don't know what's going on with it.
I told you the only time that ever happens is when your brain is so huge that the pillow can't stand the weight.
That must be it.
Of that enormous brain that you have, and
that's it.
I will, as a matter of fact, do you want somebody to call you directly? Is that what you want? Would you like that?
No, but I was thinking about it because I don't know if I need a new one or if I need to just throw it in the dryer, because that's the thing that you do with those My Pillows.
Yeah, you can.
It helps to refluff them. But I just heard the commercial a little bit ago. It made me think of it. So
I will make sure you're taken care of. One thing I will tell you, and I'm very, very serious about this. You talk to anybody at My Pillow, and I know everybody over there, they will do it. If you talk to them, they get it done, and so you will be taken care of. I guarantee it.
Good customer service.
Absolutely, no question. Bad friends, though. I mean, they got friends like me. That's not good.
I'll try to drain some of this gray matter out of my head later today, and then maybe
so heavy.
Yeah.
That brain is just so heavy, man.
Such a burden carrying around all this brain.
Okay, Eraserhead. We'll talk to you.
What a great movie. All right.
Oh, yeah, that's a hell of a movie. Eraserhead. Oh, my God. You guys ever seen that movie?
Yes.
No, I thought that was just a casual insult. What is that?
No. Eraserhead's a real movie.
It's a cult classic film. It's weird as hell. It's
very weird.
You should. AJ, you probably seen references to Eraserhead, but didn't even really know what it was.
Yeah, maybe
like memes or something. It's just go down the rabbit hole on it.
I'll look it up.
You know where I saw it? I'm very happy I saw it. This is, that movie came out about 50 years ago, something like that.
77.
77.
Yeah. So it's almost 50 years.
48.
Went and saw it at the Cedar Riverside Theater, baby.
Oh,
I used
really?
to love going over to Cedar Riverside back in the day, man. That was fun. Oh, yeah, baby. They had a few bars over there at Seven Corners.
What's that?
Seven Corners had a few good bars right there in those Seven Corners, I'll tell you that.
That was the place, right?
Oh, yeah. Sergeant Preston's.
Young Prince over there strutting his stuff.
Yep. That was a great era, no question. All right, well, go lay your heavily weighted head because of your brain on a
Let me carry my giant brain over to the studio for my next show.
Excellent. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day, sir. Channel 5's Chris Hager, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation. It's 952-925-5608. We shall take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. Sandy will join us right after this. When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Bernard is a paid endorser.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side. seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Mike Lindell and My Pillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. Thank you. They're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever. When you use promo code TOM, you get free shipping on your entire order. You get 50% off the My Pillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
You're listening to the Tom Bernard Podcast.
Yes, you are, ladies and gentlemen. Bob Sansevier Sports, brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. That's minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Sandy.
How about those Timberwolves?
Yeah. They got to win. Got to win, Bob.
I'll tell you what, though, that the two things, I'd said it, I've been saying it for the last few weeks, that the key for them is Karl Anthony Towns not doing anything stupid and playing well. He was 0 for 10 out. Stop launching the ball. Meantime, Anthony Edwards, he really is incredible. He 44 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He played 45 minutes and 20 seconds, meaning he was only on the bench for 240. In the 45-20 he played, the Wolves won those minutes by 5. In the 240, less than 3 minutes he didn't play when he's on the sideline, they were down by 13. That's what they got to play him all 48 minutes.
Yeah, there you go. Good idea.
It is incredible how much he means to this team.
Yep.
And he can't be stopped, but the other guys certainly can be. And you are playing the defending NBA champions.
Look, why don't they just it's so obvious in some cases. We got this show that I listen to. I think it's called Tom Bernard Show. And if Bob Sansevier wasn't on there, it just wouldn't be as good.
It goes without saying. Well, I must
just a given.
It's very rough on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday when he isn't on.
Very rough.
You muddle through.
Yeah, we muddle. That's exactly what it is. There's a lot of muddling when Sandy's not on. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And, and today, we actually, if it wasn't for the Wolves, and I don't care about the Wolves in the regular season, I'm fascinated by this playoff run and how good Edwards has been. So yes. I will have interest in how it goes. But, I mean, the Wolves, basically, they're one of the stories of baseball. 17 of 20 they've won. It's incredible.
I know. It is wonderful. I did watch that game yesterday, and that's a very impressive team, man. I'll tell you that.
Well, the pitching isn't doing too shabby at the moment.
Well, there's one guy that didn't do too well. That's Sand, or what the hell ever his name is.
Yeah, but, I mean, would you have – was it Ober yesterday that pitched?
Yeah, he pitched yesterday after Sand didn't he give up a couple of runs or something?
Yeah, but Ober did pretty good.
Pretty. Who used to do that?
Larry David.
Larry David, that's right. Pretty.
He put at least 3 of them in there.
He did, yes, always. No question.
Sometimes more.
So. It's all true. So, yeah, we got to get through it. That's all I'm saying, Sandy.
Well, I mean, what's interesting is in this series, the road team has won all the games.
Yep.
And if that holds up, then the Wolves are going to go to the Western Conference Finals. But I don't think it's going to hold up.
Bob, they have to win the next game. They cannot lose on to Denver 3 in a row. There's just no way.
Tom, the formula's there. He plays all. They get enough breaks. He's young. He's 22. Why is he coming off the floor?
I know.
Chris Finch, fire him. The guy can't even sit with his players on the front row there. He's in the back. He's got some assistant running things. I don't want to hear that he had surgery a week or so ago on his leg.
Who cares?
His knee. Come on. Suck it up, big boy. Get out there. Yeah.
Sandy, you're getting no argument for me. I think you're right on the money.
Is it horn tootin' or darn tootin'?
I think both.
Yeah.
Well, I was darn tootin', but a friend of mine said horn.
That's
you
where
horn tootin'. It's like, what?
That's right. It was you who said that.
Good God.
I like horn tootin' better than darn tootin'.
I agree. There's no question.
Now, we don't talk about it. Caitlin Clark we talked about, but somebody has got to get to Cheryl Reeve and tell her, figure it out. She's like blasting the WNBA for all the exposure and all, of Caitlin Clark. She doesn't get it. It's marketing.
What?
Nobody cares about your league. And also, she's like the Olympic coach, and they have one open spot, and she hasn't named Caitlin Clark to it.
Really?
Why?
Jealous.
But she's got. I mean, if Caitlin Clark's on the Olympic team, the entire country will want to know what they do. Without her, they don't care.
I would. I will tell you that.
Will you care if she's not on it? I won't.
Nope.
She just doesn't get it. I mean, just look at your own team. They've opened up the second deck for when you wind up playing the Fever.
Mm-hmm.
That's not because your team is that good. It's because Caitlin Clark is coming.
I agree. I don't understand. There are people that, Bob, as you know, particularly in the certain areas of the United States of America, if you succeed without somebody else's help, you're a bad person.
Well, I mean, I like Cheryl Reeve, but I've had this discussion with her, not lately, but many times. Why aren't we in front page of the newspaper? Why aren't we on more TV? Well, you know what? You didn't Caitlin Clark has captured the minds and the attention of people. It's why it's going to be on ESPN Plus, ESPN2, and the Disney Channel. Their season opener tomorrow, because people want to see Caitlin Clark.
Yep.
At least now, I don't know that it's going to, because it's not college basketball. And I do think that some of her teammates are going to start getting a little jealous of all the attention, too. They got to get over that jealousy factor.
That's how life is. Doesn't matter what your job is. You could be in sports. You could be whatever. If you become a big name, people resent the hell out of you. And I don't know. Once you get off your ass and do something yourself so you get noticed.
Well, I heard that TJ and AJ walk down the street. People are spitting at them and throwing full cans of beer, much like in Philadelphia. But that's happening here because they're such big shots now.
That's exactly right. There's no getting around it.
People are jealous of them.
Bob, did you see like some of the criticism that some of the like elder WNBA stars like Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, they were talking about it like during the March Madness run for Caitlin Clark. They were asked like, does she need does she need a title to be one of the greatest college? And so yes, absolutely. Like despite being the all-time scoring leader, and then somebody was like, what can she bring to the WNBA? And it was just like there was no like the popularity of the marketing was. It's gonna be a wake-up call for her because this league is tough. It's like, can you just support her? She's making this league. If the spotlight is demanding her attention, let her have it right now.
They can't because they're jealous because these are women who did win. Certainly in the case of Sue Bird, Taurasi I think did too, right? Yeah. Won college championships, and it didn't mean a thing because people didn't care about them.
And whenever their collective bargaining agreement is up for the Players Association and the WNBA, and they're able to negotiate a much higher percentage of the money that's being brought in because Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and all these young players are elevating the game, they can say thank you because they weren't going to get any of this pay until she could hear their popularity.
This is an example of Cheryl Reeve, too. Had the 7th pick, and everyone pretty much figured out the way it would fall. Angel Reese would be there at number 7. She trades the 7th pick and picks the Pac-12 player of the great Pac-12 player of the year. I still don't remember her name. Nobody knows her name unless you're really hardcore.
Pele, I think her name is something like that.
Yeah, she's Pele. That's what it is.
I
Pele.
Yeah,
she's been on the Sun. Pele.
I think the game plan there is they're going to have, I think, an extra pick now next year when Paige Beckers is going to be eligible for the draft and probably in it so that they can potentially move up if they have a disaster like this year.
No one's going to trade away the 1st overall pick in the WNBA draft. It's not the NFL.
What if they have the 2nd and 3rd picks, though?
Well, but if you want Paige Beckers, then you're going to hold on to it. But think about how great it would have been. We mentioned they're opening up the 2nd deck for when Caitlin Clark comes in. Caitlin Clark against Angel Reese, they'd sell the place out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I just don't understand Cheryl Reeve, and she's just so set in her ways and too stubborn to maybe realize what it takes to. Your league has the greatest marketing opportunity in the history of women's basketball, and she's complaining about it.
Bob, witnessed it yourself back in the day when we had the #1 rated morning show in America. Everybody on that show got treated like shit in that building. You remember that?
Oh yeah. I mean, well,
it's how it always is. If you're kicking ass, they don't like that. If they're not involved or they didn't tell you what to do, they hate it when you succeed like that.
Well, they have to make it feel like, especially the first guy that when I first started there, that wanted to take all the credit.
Yeah. Well, there is that.
How'd that career go for him? How's he doing?
I mean, the amazing thing about the whole deal is we made them about $1 billion, $1 billion, and we were still the bad guys. It's like, how?
Tom, when you do it, I know it was $1 million when it's done. You should put your finger here. $1 billion.
$1 billion. You know, that was after, a few decades. I'm not talking about a year or anything like that.
Tuesday.
But people do, unless they can take credit for what you're doing, they hate it. Why? Can't you be happy for somebody else?
Because they're jealous. You know why? Because people want to feel like they were a part of it.
Well, they could be a part of it. That's fine. We allowed it. Why do you think I left the building 26 years ago? I couldn't be around it anymore. I just couldn't. The look in their face, especially that one cross-eyed prick. I got him the job, and then first thing he does is stab me in the back. Son of a bitch. I hope he's
trying to remember who that one is.
Anyway, moving forward. It's just that's the thing about human beings. I can be happy for someone. You achieve something, that's great, man. That's wonderful. But unless you've achieved something yourself, you can't say that. Well, that's on you, not everybody else. Get off your ass and go achieve something, right?
Absolutely. And you know what? If you got a good grip, you could ride some coattails.
Absolutely. Except we all did, baby. There's no question about it.
Reach out and hold on.
I love the take, Bob. That's brilliant. Yeah. Works for me. All right. Any closing numbers?
Well, actually, I do want to say one thing, if I may. Saturday. Well, I got to tell you a quick story. Saturday, my son Spencer graduated from St. John's.
Oh, yeah.
And we're very proud of him. Honor student, first and only, because he was the first to get to graduate from St. John's. They added a finance degree, had been accounting finance. Mm-hmm. First kid and only kid to graduate with it so far. So that's a big deal. Nice. But it was great. They did the ceremony. They jump in the lake right behind the chapel where they get their diploma. They all did that. And then we had a 6:15 reservation at a place called Bella Cucina in St. I don't know if you've ever eaten there, but we got plenty of time. We get in the truck at 5:45. He's toweled himself off. Truck won't start.
Oh.
And I'm like, Tom, I hate. How many of you have the push button start? I got a car and at this truck. I hate it. Give me a key.
Yes.
I want to air. Here's the quick benefit, though, of this.
Okay.
My son Sawyer, a trained diesel mechanic, and Spencer's friend Caden, because he came. They've been buddies since like grade school. Another diesel mechanic. They ran over to O'Reilly's because Napa was closed. Got a new starter. Popped that baby in. They had to deal with a couple of rusty bolts, but they got it in, and we wound up going to the other place. Tom, if you haven't eaten at this place in St. Joe, it's called Crew. No, Crew is phenomenal. We wound up going there later then because it's like the Louisiana Cajun. Phenomenal. The guy that owns it used to be a chef in Minneapolis, and I don't remember his name, but for people who, it's even from the cities, it's not far at all in St. Joe. It's like less than an hour no matter where you are.
I will tell you flat out, and I'm very serious about this. When I was a kid into my 20s, maybe even early 30s, there were about 3 good restaurants in the entire state of Minnesota. Now Minnesota has phenomenal restaurants everywhere.
Well, if you want to eat, you can find some places, no question.
Yep. It's really great. And by the way, I'm going to be, because your son achieved something no one else ever did, I'm going to be that neighbor, okay? Yeah, well, I mean, it's not fair. Yeah, he achieved somebody, but he's part Italian, so it's probably rigged.
It won't count. Oh, by the way, if anyone out there who has a business looking for a finance, the only one with a finance degree from St. John's, reach out. I'll put you in touch.
You reach out, baby. It's time to reach out. Yeah. Sandy, that's great news. I'm very proud. You and Mary are great parents. There's no question about it. God, I hate being nice to you.
That's up for debate. I certainly don't feel like it when I deal with those two youngest ones.
Well, there is that.
We thought we did such a great job with the first three. It's like we coasted, and that was a mistake. With these last two.
Well, that's nice to know that you coasted.
Oh my God, they're just
all right, Sandy.
Maddening, I tell you. All right, we'll see you kids Friday.
Some Bob Sansevier Sports brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyer seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. That's MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. We'll take a break. Be right back. A little schmoozing. Kristen Burt coming up in about 15 minutes. A lot of great stuff coming up right after this. In addition to having the best selection in town, K&L Surplus and Ammo also can help you sell your firearms safely and worry-free. Very, very important. You've inherited a collection of firearms from a loved one, don't know what to do with them, or if you have guns you're no longer using, call Jim at K&L Surplus and Ammo. Jim can help you sell those firearms safely and through consignment and auction. I know Jim. He's an extremely knowledgeable guy, great guy too. Will help you get top dollar, which is very important, of course. He will help you explore all the options and take the work and stress off of your shoulders. K&L Surplus and Ammo is on Lake Drive in Lina Lakes and open Tuesday through Saturday. You can also visit them online at www.klgunstore.com.
I've been tracking the weather in Minnesota for a long time. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Ken Barlow. In the morning, I've got to be right, because my forecast affects your family's entire day. And in the evening, you can count on my friend, Ren.
That's right, Ken. I'm 5 Eyewitness News evening meteorologist Ren Claire. And as a Minnesotan, I know our weather can be tricky. Throughout the day and into the night, I've got you covered with an accurate forecast to help keep your family safe and ready for any weather.
And don't forget, no matter how things change or what time of day, you'll always get our forecast first at the start of every newscast on 5 Eyewitness News. Start your day with me, Ken Barlow.
And wrap up your day with me, Ren Claire.
Because 5 Eyewitness News is always tracking our weather, so you're always alerted first. It's why 5 Eyewitness News is Minnesota's weather authority.
I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Bernard Podcast.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, a little news and information. I see things like this. I do not understand why this happens. Once again, because apparently you're famous. Either they love you or they hate you or they resent you or whatever. But would you punch a 66-year-old man in the face?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about here.
What?
So much wrong with, like, Steve Buscemi. First of all, what did he do to anybody?
Right.
If you want to punch him in the face. And also, yeah, like you're saying, like a 67-year-old man to just randomly attack somebody that's older and punch him in the face. Like, it's, to his credit, though, he chased after the guy. And he didn't catch him, but he at least was spry enough to try to fight back.
So fill me in here, because I heard about this, but I don't really know the full story.
Okay, here's the deal. 66-year-old, I think he is 67. I think you're right about that, Tevin.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Buscemi is the latest victim of unprovoked attacks in New York City, but luckily he's doing okay. Steve was walking in Midtown Manhattan on Wednesday at around noon. So this is at noon Wednesday. It's not like Friday night and everybody's drunk.
Yeah, right. I knew.
Steve was treated at the local hospital for swelling in his face and his left eye. That's the whole story that they have here. Are there any other parts of it? Does anybody know? So this was just sucker punching guy because he's famous?
Yeah, and so they have photos of the guy and wearing like a blue shirt. He's got a black hat on. And he looks, I guess, kind of more in shape. He's probably looks like maybe 50s-ish age. But yeah, they haven't made any arrests. They're kind of needing the public's help trying to find him. But yeah, to just walk up because I know that New York's been having a lot of women that have been getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
Randomly.
Yep.
But this is kind of the first notable celebrity that's been randomly punched in the face in New York.
And what is the point? Why are we doing this? Do we know?
I have no idea. Like I don't understand how there's multiple people just randomly going around punching people. Like,
and although I think, like, to Tom's original question, like, could I punch? No, I wouldn't. I feel like that's a weird thing to do. But I can think of a couple people that maybe deserve a punch in the face. Steve Buscemi doesn't even sniff that list.
No.
Like, what does he do? Like he just made good movies and TV shows.
Right.
Like what is he doing that's controversial that would cause such a ruckus that you're like, I gotta punch Steve Buscemi right in his eyeball? Like, what are we doing here?
I'll warn you up front, ladies and gentlemen. I wouldn't do that to me because that's not my phone in my right pocket.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, you never know these days. One, who can fight back, and which is probably why this guy punched an older gentleman, because he's probably less likely to get his ass beat. And then as well, you never know who's got a gun that is going to use it.
You mean like somebody I just mentioned? Do not punch anyone I know in the face, as a matter of fact. What is the thrill of sucker punching someone? You know, standing there slugging it out with someone's one thing, but to sucker punch somebody, what the hell is wrong with you?
And this is where I feel like the judicial system maybe will be a letdown, because I feel like in my head that happened, right? Let's say they catch this guy and he goes on trial and he's found guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Buscemi should be well within his rights to just get one free shot at this guy.
I agree.
And I understand it's probably not going to be the strongest punch. It's Steve Buscemi, but maybe, just you start training right now, and then you just get one mean right hook, and then he goes off to jail. Like that should be well within his rights. Just one swift punch right in front of the judge.
Wouldn't you, if the guy came back, hey, you know what happened? I sucker punched Steve Buscemi. I'd go, get the hell away from me.
Absolutely.
What's wrong with you?
It's a terrible brag too. Like who's going to be impressed by that story?
Well, first of all, isn't Steve Buscemi like 5'4" and weighs about 98 pounds?
Yeah,
he's a little guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not some big imposing figure where it's impressive, like you knocked out Steve Buscemi or knocked him over. But yeah, to just randomly punch him, like, I don't care how much you hated the last Adam Sandler movie he was in.
Exactly.
It looks like he's 5'9". So
5'9".
Yeah, a little taller than the 5'6", but still, like, he's not towering over anybody.
But I mean, the thing about it is, and by the way, I should mention that I did know a guy who was 5'7", weighed about 160 pounds. I don't know one person that could kick his ass. I will tell you, I can guarantee you to this day, he was the toughest sumbitch I've ever met. My son Andy's named after him, as a matter of fact. His name was Andy Fisher.
Mm-hmm.
He was tough, man. He never let it go. I miss you, Andy. He died a couple of years ago. You bastard. What are you doing dying on me? You pain in the ass.
Unbelievable.
Typical. But yeah, I just, to sucker punch someone. How do you feel about yourself that you have to sucker punch someone? Ugh.
Yeah, you're not confident enough to fight somebody. You have to sucker punch them. And then I wonder if it was a targeted thing. Like, had he been waiting outside of Steve Buscemi's house type of thing? Or was it just he was the nearest 66-year-old guy that this guy could punch?
Unbelievable. The only bright side to this, and I know this is going to be a bad bright side.
Excellent.
Sometimes I feel like the media can, like, the descriptions of the headlines can be a little misleading and stuff. But this one, I'm glad we're labeling this guy for what he is, because this is from the New York Post. Boardwalk Empire star Steve Buscemi punched by maniac in random NYC attack. That's
maniac.
That's exactly how he should be labeled. The guy's a maniac.
I agree.
Like, why are you just punching people randomly?
I still don't understand what the thrill is of sucker punch. You've achieved nothing by sucker punching someone.
No, absolutely. If anything, you look more like a coward.
I couldn't agree more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I told you before, I've been knocked out before. That was not a sucker punch, and I actually had it coming. So, you know. Yeah. But, being punched in the face is not fun. There's no question about that. But
I mean, or punch in the forehead like Phil earlier.
Being punched in the Why would you punch someone in the forehead? He had to have missed the punch.
Yeah, well, I think also being in 8th grade, I think he said when it happened.
Yeah.
Little kids are dumb. They're just like, I'll punch you in your forehead. Phil's big enough where he probably couldn't miss.
Well, you might have a point there. I'm just going to punch you in the forehead. He did it on purpose.
Yep.
Like, what? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but yeah, don't leave Steve Buscemi alone. I love Steve Buscemi. What is that one? What is he talking about in the Reservoir Dogs at the very beginning? Something to do with a restaurant or something. And everybody's all pissed off, and he goes, "No, I'm telling you the truth." Oh God, it was a great scene.
He's talking about tipping, right?
It is tipping. You're tipping at McDonald's. That's right.
Yeah.
Tipping at McDonald's. Oh God, great call. God, that's a wonderful scene. I got to see that movie again. I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Yeah, me neither.
What's wrong with you? What are you going to leave a tip? You going to tip at McDonald's? You leaving a tip? It just went on and on and on about it. I loved it. God, there are some old movies that just reminded me. There's some movies out there that I haven't seen in a long time that I got to rewatch.
Well, you mentioned you were going to tell us about a movie you saw that had Anthony Hopkins in it.
Oh my God, it's called One Life, and I do want to talk about it with Kristen Burt in a couple of minutes too. But it's called One Life. It's a true story, and I challenge you to watch the movie One Life, starring Anthony Hopkins and several other really good people, and tell me how much you hate Jews. Call me and let me know how much you hate, especially Jewish children. Give me a call, tough guy, and tell me all about it. It is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen in my entire life. It's extremely sad because it is about this. Anthony Hopkins plays a guy, and it's a true story, real life true story.
It looks like he plays a Nicky Winton. Does that sound right?
Nicky Winton, yep. It's okay. Nicky Winton, who saved 669 children's lives. Little Jewish children. They were going to execute these children, and he saved 669 of them. And you know what he said when they cheered him on about that? And by the way, there's a scene at the end of the movie where the entire audience at a shooting of a talk show.
Oh no, I know exactly. Yeah, I've seen this.
Oh God, they all stand. Yeah, the movie came out I think last year. I think. But they all stand up. Everybody in the audience was somebody that he had saved from being executed by the Nazis in World War II, all across, Eastern Europe. And I mean, it's an amazing, amazing movie. But then they let you know at the very end of the movie, after the credits are rolling, that most of those people were the real people that the guy saved. Oh, God, it's touching.
Wow. It looks like it's actually over at the Edina Man Theater right now.
Is it really?
Yeah, they got showings today at 2:30, 4:40, and 7:05. So maybe I'll see if I can make that 7:05 showing work for me.
Call Michelle, man. You get some great seats, no question about it. I'm telling you, if you're not crying during that movie, there's something wrong with you. Little baby children being executed because they're Jews. And what's happening now? You're pissing all over them again. They went through something in World War II that no one else should ever have to go through again. And the first thing you do is turn on them because you love to pick sides because of skin color, you stupid bastards.
Yeah. And you said he saved 669?
I think that was right.
Or something like that. And like he's probably the type of person where there was probably like number 670 that he loses sleep over because he wasn't able to get one additional child out. That's an incredible story. And I've seen that video that you're talking about where they all stand up in the middle of his like whatever they're kind of giving an award or something. Yeah.
No, because he brought them all to England from Eastern Europe. He brought them all to England, and that's where they all lived. That's where they grew up. But honest to God, I look over, Catherine's weeping, I'm weeping. It's like, son of a bitch, little kids being tortured. What is wrong with you? And now they're at it again. I will never say, when are we going to learn to come together, to assimilate to one another's lives? You live a different life than I do. I can assimilate a little bit. If I go to your house, I follow your rules. That's assimilation. You stupid bastards who thought that was some kind of an insult or weakness. No, it's actually strength to move toward you rather than away from you. All you people who want to stay separate because of your political views are morons. Move together. It's better for you, it's better for them, and it's better for your country and the world, actually, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. We're more alike than we are different.
No question about it. I'm going to start crying again, so shut up. Leave me alone. Get away from me. We'll take a break. Be right back. Kristen, we're going to be talking more about this with Kristen Burt because it's phenomenal. God, be right back. When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market, and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Bernard is a paid endorser.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
The new Tom Bernard Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw and Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Bernard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Bernard Show. Visit tombernardshow.com, keyword partner. This is the Tom Bernard Podcast.
Oh, do we have the still picture today? Is that the ticket?
I don't know. My camera suddenly.
Uh-oh.
I think she popped in before our last segment ended. And so I'm not sure that Kristen, are you still there?
A disaster. She's not.
I'll maybe remove her here for a moment. She was in here earlier before our last break, and then she got kicked or something. So she might be experiencing some tech issues here, but it looks like she's trying to rejoin, but, well, hopefully we can get that ironed out.
I don't really understand why this keeps happening. Is it just the way things are these days that people come and people go, they pop in and pop out?
Although that is a great metaphor, I think it has something to probably do with, she mentioned, I know Friday that she had a brand new setup or she got a new computer or something. So that could, be playing into a little bit of what's going on here. Maybe
she's a complete disaster. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but when isn't she? Right.
Well, that's true. I'm not going to announce her until she pops back on. Forget it. I'm not going to say Kristen Bird Entertainment News is brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. I'm not going to say that because I can't, count on her to be on the show. So I don't know what else to tell you. It might be a good thing that if she doesn't make it back on, it might be if there was a day to not show up today, it'd be a good one, because if we talk more about One Life, I'll probably end up having to pat my eyes with my shirt and, honest to God, see that movie. You know what? Going to see it at the Edina Theater would be what a treat, because there's all those great restaurants around there. Mm-hmm. You go have a little dinner, you go see the movie in a movie theater. Oh my God, you'd have a great time.
Well, I've got a little bad news. I think we've got her back, so we might have to talk about the movie more.
Oh no, it's Kristen Burt.
Hi.
Kristen.
What's up, sister?
I don't know. StreamYard kept on kicking me out.
That was my idea.
Is that what it is?
Is that what it is?
It just kept on going, and you're out, and you're out. And I was like, what is going on? The rest of my computer's working.
You and I, this entire show, obviously, have been talking a lot about how wonderful television shows and movies have become and all the rest of it. Catherine and I saw One Life last night. What an impact that had on both of us. What a great movie.
Unfortunately, very timely.
Yeah.
But I would say if anyone's looking, there's also a great documentary called Nikki's Life. probably came out, I'm going to say maybe 10, 15 years ago. You can find
Okay.
it on Tubi, though.
About Nicky himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just well, he's such a great actor anyway. That doesn't hurt. Anthony
Certainly
Hopkins.
doesn't hurt when you have Anthony Hopkins in the role.
No, it does not. But when he feels something, I don't know what he does with his voice and face, but when he feels something, you feel it with him because he's such a good actor.
Well, think about it. He can play Hannibal Lecter,
Yeah.
and he can play Nicky. I mean, like, talk about a range. I mean, honestly, that is a full range from like hero and
Yep.
villain.
Don't you think all these heartless pricks that hate everybody and now it's going after the Jews and this and that and the other thing, you go see that movie and let me know how much you don't like Jews. And if you do tell me that, then you're going to have to get the hell out of the country. I'll escort you out.
My friends in the Jewish community really feel unsupported right now.
There's
and,
no
you have
doubt.
the rise of anti-Semitism. And on the flip side, a lot of my friends who are Islamic feel the rise of, anti-Islam. So it's really, they feel the Islamophobia. It's really a struggle right now.
It is because people will not listen. We need to move toward one another, to assimilate to one another's culture. Doesn't mean you need to become a Muslim or you need to become a Jew. That's not what it is. Move toward one another, not away from one another. I don't know who taught you that, at what shithole school you went to, but moving toward one another is the only answer for any of
I
this.
think it starts at home. I wouldn't even talk about the schools.
Oh, the schools are horrible in America now. And you're right, it does start at home.
Starts at home.
You know, I got to battle Catherine all the time for her, racist. Can you imagine Catherine as a racist? That's hilarious, even thinking about that. God. No, you're right. It's in the household. There's
It's
no
in the
doubt
household,
about
and
that.
it's who you surround yourself with. If you have a very small community of only you, people just like you,
Yeah.
that's where a lot of the fear begins. And I do think about it. Like, I grew up in an area of Massachusetts where everyone looked like me, and you were either Catholic or you were Jewish. That was it. But I really am very grateful for my time in New York City because it really
Yeah.
opened up my world. When they call it a melting pot, there's no lies about that. And I think I really learned to appreciate so many different cultures and religions. And it was honestly, it was one of the greatest times in my life.
I will tell you, I've argued about this all the time after they went after me, try to torch my entire life. I grew up around black people, Native Americans, Asian people, Jews, Catholics, Protestants. I grew up around every type of person you could possibly come up with, but I was the one who didn't understand because you grew up in Whispering Acres where not one person wasn't a rich honky. I just love
Whispering
that.
Whispering Acres. You just
Jesus
know.
Christ. Well, it's true, isn't it? How are you an expert on race relations when, and again, you grew up where you grew up. I'm not blaming you, but I am blaming you because you think you know what you're talking about. You have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Those people. There's no question. Whispering Acres.
And you do whisper.
Make
When
sure the
things are
gate
bad, you
closes.
whisper like, she had an affair. Like,
It's-
that's what they do in Whispering
they do.
Acres.
No,
I grew up in
Whispering
a
Acres.
community very similar to Whispering Acres, let me tell you.
Well, you made out okay, though.
I did, but I'm very honest about this. I really feel like my time in New York City, I feel like my life would have been very different had I not gone to like a large city. I mean, I went to a high school. We had 200 kids at the time. It was a prep school. I mean, it was very white New England. And I think going to NYU and just like taking advantage of everything that Manhattan offered at the time, because Brooklyn wasn't cool at that point.
Yeah.
But I mean, I really think about that. And
Yep.
had I not experienced that, I don't think my life would look the same. I don't necessarily even think I would have married a Latino man.
Yeah, maybe
honestly,
not. Maybe not.
I feel
mean,
like
I
my
wouldn't-
views were even, they were just limited. I didn't necessarily feel one way or another about races and religions and things like that, but it just was that tunnel vision of like, you don't have a community that looks completely different than what you grew up with. And now we
Well,
have that. I really love our
yeah.
community of friends.
Well, I'm glad to hear. Look at me. I had, it was a risk marrying a gypsy, but I did. Oh, There's no reaction. I love that. There's just no reaction. Catherine's in the other room, probably staring. Well, she might be staring at me through the window now. I'm not sure.
Or she might be throwing dishes at your head in a moment.
You might be right about that. Do you think we will ever understand they keep us apart and they teach us to hate one another because there's a lot of money in hatred?
I just don't pay attention to that. You know what I mean?
Well, you have to, otherwise you have to protect yourself.
Well, I think, but it's, to me, the way you can affect change is on a micro level. What does your community look like? How are you improving your community? Who do you hang out with? Are you not understanding a certain community? Well, befriend someone in that community and learn more about their culture or learn more about their way of life. And I think that that completely helps. It really does.
I hope that comes to fruition because there's very little of that going on now. Very little of it. No question about it. It's unfortunate. I mean, the whole thing is really, really sad that people just cannot get their head out of their ass, live your life, let everybody else live their lives, stop being so judgmental, and try to understand somebody else's opinion, not just your own. Right?
Yeah.
Sure. I totally agree.
So, in closing, let me say, shut the hell up and leave me alone. What do you think?
We still need to get a shirt with that. Just
Get that
shut the hell up and leave me alone. Tom Bernard Park.
Yep. There you go. That works for me. There's no question about it. So yeah, One Life is the name of the movie. If you don't tear up, you have no soul.
Yes. And Nikki's Life, if you want to watch the documentary. I know a lot of people like to do a deep dive into the true story after that.
Yep.
So, and it's on Tubi, so it is absolutely free.
When those people all stand up in the damn audience at the end, Catherine and I are weeping. It's like, oh my God, it was because they're real people. They're the real people, some of them.
I know. And that's, you know, I cry at like cat videos, so forget. I ugly cry at scenes like that. I can't handle it.
So sweet. It's so very, very sweet, though. That's why we like you, sister.
I know. I've already cried on the air here, so.
You know what else Tom did? You mean that time?
Not that. I can handle that.
He goes, no, not that. No, here, I got to read you something which I don't understand. I wonder if I can find it. I think it's in here someplace. Yeah, somebody was telling me about some. Oh, they must have taken it down. Never mind. They went after you and me for some reason, but they must have taken it down because they found out that was bullshit. So that's good. You and I apparently,
or someone else took it down for us.
Well, that's a possibility. I suppose you're probably right. But so is everything else good? Anything good coming out? I should keep an eye on because One Life was going to be tough to beat. I'll tell you that.
I bookmarked something for you because it's on BritBox, and I was like, "This is so up Tom's alley."
All right.
It's a new show that's premiering tonight on BritBox called After the Flood. It's a mystery. It's about a pregnant police officer who's training to be a detective, and she witnesses a man drown while saving a baby.
Oh.
And that's how the mystery starts.
Eek.
He was saving a baby and drowned, or she was saving a baby and then a guy drowned next to her?
He was drowned while saving the baby. She witnessed it.
Okay.
And that's how the mystery begins. But she happens to be pregnant on top of this. So this probably adds into the story. But I was like, you love British mysteries. This is right up your alley, Tom.
Catherine, I love British television. I'm telling you what, Whitechapel, oh my God, that show is good. Unbelievable. I think 4 seasons, maybe 3. Really, really good television. Look, I like a lot of American TV too. But it's just, I love seeing the different takes on things that happen to people, whether it's in Europe or America or wherever it is. I love to watch different reactions to the same thing because it just shows you cultures are completely, once again, accept one another's cultures. That's another big part of it. Got no problem with that. I learned a lot from, looking around different people in my neighborhood. I loved it. Get off your ass. Get your head out of your ass. Live your life. Let's go.
Make some new friends, everyone.
I need everybody to be friends or get away from me.
Are you still watching Tracker?
Yes, I think Tracker's terrific.
I didn't know if you were still into the episodes or not. I know you watch like 16 shows at once, so I can't keep
Catherine
up.
and we do burn things up. There's no question about that.
I can't keep track. Like I have to focus on a couple of seasons of shows and then move on to the next thing because I lose track of like, wait, are they alive or are they dead? Wait, did they meet this person yet or not? So you guys are doing a good job of keeping track of all your shows.
Well, it's kind of weird because it's not intentional, But Catherine and I suppose we've been together for 44 years. That might have something to do with it. But we tend to really like the same things. You know, like if she says, oh, let's watch this, I tend to like it. And not just tend to, I do like it. And it's not just because she likes it. It's like, yeah, this is, I suppose when you live together for a long time like that, you kind of move to the middle, don't you?
No, not in our household.
Not in our, I don't think
No.
you've been together for 44 years, though. So that's the big
Not yet. Not yet, but over a decade. So I will at least say that our tastes have still remained the same. He's over here. I'm over here. A couple things will cross over and we'll watch them together.
And then it's the exact opposite with Catherine and me. We watch almost all the stuff together, but then she has her shows and I got my shows. But there are not very many of them. There's just a couple for her, a couple for me.
Yeah, Bill's more into like Marvel, Star Trek. I'm not really interested. I can get him to watch one of like a stupid rom-com or something with me. And he'll watch like Hacks with me. He watched Marvelous Mrs. Maisel with me. There's certain shows he will.
Hacks is a good show. No doubt about it.
Hacks is so good.
It really is.
So good. When
Do
people
people
say
know
they
about
haven't watched it, I'm like, it is one of the best shows on TV, but also it's so rare to have a woman over 60
I know.
in the comedian role, like leading the way, total badass, and really funny. Like
She's
not
very
even like, oh, this is sort of funny. It's really funny.
It's terrific. It's a great show. She's wonderful. She was
Yeah, and
first
it
on what,
makes me
Bob
miss-
Newhart?
I'm sorry, what?
Was she originally on Bob Newhart, one of the Bob Newhart tapes?
I remember her from Designing Women. I think that
Designing
was
Women,
like
okay.
her one of her really big breakout roles.
And she was on something else too, but I can't remember. I thought
I
it
don't
was
think
Bob
she's
Newhart,
old
but I-
enough to be. Well, she could have been on the second version of Bob Newhart show.
Yeah, it
one
wasn't
that
the first
took
one.
place in
No,
it.
right.
Yeah, I don't remember her on the Vermont Inn version of Bob Newhart.
Yeah. No, she's really, really good though. I love well, you know that I love tough women anyway. I just love women who have an edge to them.
It makes me miss Joan Rivers. I'll tell you that.
I
show.
agree 100%. And don't you think it's kind of a little bit modeled on Joan Rivers?
Oh, I definitely think so, especially with the estranged daughter storyline for sure. I mean, and not that Joan and Melissa were obviously very, very tight, but when Melissa was very young, Joan was on the road quite a bit. And
Right.
I think their bond came after Joan Rivers' husband committed suicide.
Yeah.
That was really sad.
You know how wonderful it was back in the day. We'd have her, hey, Tom, how are you, Tom? It was just, God, it was just, to know Joan Rivers was a thrill for me.
And I think also like her voice is missed, like in this
Yes.
craziness right
Yep.
now.
Yep.
She would have had a lot to say.
God, she was funny. God, she was funny. Wasn't she wonderful?
She was very funny. I mean, and I got to know her because my grandmother was a huge Johnny Carson fan, and she,
Oh, okay.
at the time, was the guest host
Yep.
for Johnny Carson until she burned that bridge, and then they never spoke again.
Yeah, Johnny did that with a lot of people, though.
He did. He was a
Yeah,
tough
yeah.
personality. Like people loved
was.
him on TV. You know, he's kind of like Ellen DeGeneres. Like people loved her on-air personality. Behind the scenes, kind of messy.
Do you remember why he was like that, though? I will
I
never
only
forget.
I don't know much about his life in terms of I just know that he was married a gazillion times in the National Enquirer when you go to
Mhm.
the grocery store would just
Yep.
be like Johnny's paying $100 million to his latest ex-wife.
His mother was on Mike Wallace. He was on 60 Minutes, right? Yeah, 60 Minutes. Mike Wallace.
Mike Wallace, yes.
Chris Wallace's father. So I'm watching it. Mike Wallace is interviewing Johnny Carson's mother live on television, by the way. And they sit down to watch The Tonight Show. This is all live on CBS. And they get through the monologue. At the end of the monologue, there's a moment of silence, and Johnny Carson's mother says, that wasn't funny at all. I will never forget. It's like, this is your mother? Now I understand why Johnny can be an asshole sometimes. I just tell
Boy,
you.
my mom would have been like, that was the best thing ever, even if it was
Exactly.
terrible. Bill always
exactly
says, he goes, you and your brother have like the best like self-confidence and sense of self. Like there's no issues with your ego whatsoever. But my mom was always telling us, you're the best. You guys are
best
the
of all
best.
time.
We believe
Well, you
it.
were. I'm sure you were the best. I don't think
We
there's
were
any
all
question
right.
you were the best.
We've got
Oh, you're
some
all right.
problems. We each have, I mean, we each have an issue or two, but
Okay, Kristen, that segment was okay, but
I think it was pretty solid considering I had tech issues. So
it was very
I'll go
solid.
with that.
Exactly.
I'll spin
Exactly
it.
right. All right, my dear, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yes, I will be here hopefully on time.
Oh, well, I guess we'll see, won't we? Thank you, my dear. Kristen Bird, Entertainment News, brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. How do you think I would have taken that if Toots had said, that show wasn't funny at all? Oh, God, it would destroy me.
The way you've talked about her, and I never had the chance to meet her, but I feel like you still would have, adored her. It seems like similar to how you talk about Catherine, like those two are like on your Mount Rushmore of like life people.
Yeah, it's very true. No question about that. But your own mother stabbing you in the back on national television.
Right. At least save it for after the show, Mom. Tell me in the privacy of our own home that you didn't like it. Not in front of everybody.
Home. You know what, John? That first joke was terrible.
Why would you do that to your own son? I will not. But now you understand why he had such an edge to him, and he could be a real prick to people because of her.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Hell of a way to start the week. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Talk to you then.
Family show's up in about 15 minutes.